The American flag. It is one of the most recognized symbols in the world, a banner of freedom and revolution. But the story of the very first flag is not one of grand committees and public decrees. It's a quiet, secret story of a late-night visit, a clever design change, and a single determined seamstress. This is the story of Betsy Ross. Our story begins in the spring of 1776. The American colonies were in open rebellion against Great Britain, but they were not yet a unified nation. Their armies fought under a confusing array of different flags, a dozen different flags, no single banner to unite them. The new Continental Congress knew they needed a single national banner to unite the colonies, a symbol that would represent their new shared identity. But the design was still undecided. On the battlefield, the confusion was dangerous. Friend or foe? A united army needed a single, recognizable symbol. They imagined a flag, 13 stripes and a field of stars to represent the colonies. A flag to tell every soldier they were part of the same fight, and to tell the world they were united. So the search for a design began. One late spring day in 1776, a quiet knock came at the door of Betsy Ross's upholstery shop. This was not an ordinary visit. Outside stood three distinguished gentlemen. One was General George Washington himself. With him was Robert Morris, a financier, and George Ross, a respected statesman. Philadelphia was occupied by the British. A meeting like this was dangerous. They came inside, and the small shop suddenly felt like the most important room in America. They were a secret committee from the Continental Congress. They had a rough sketch of a flag, 13 red and white stripes, and a blue field with 13 six-pointed stars. They expected her to follow their instructions. They had come because of her reputation as a fine seamstress. On their drawing, the stars were six-pointed. They believed it was easier to make. But Betsy Ross was more than a pair of hands. She was a woman with ideas of her own. With three of the most powerful men in the colonies watching, Betsy was about to show them her mind matched her needle. Betsy told the gentleman she would be honored to make the flag, but she had a suggestion. A five-pointed star, she proposed. The men were skeptical. How could a five-pointed star be simpler? They believed a six-pointed star would be easier to cut uniformly. Betsy asked for a piece of paper and a pair of scissors. One fold, then another, then another. With practiced speed, she made a single decisive snip. She unfolded the paper. There, between her fingers, was a perfect five-pointed star. Symmetrical, sharp, elegant. The three powerful men were astonished. It was faster, a method that could produce many identical stars with ease. They adopted her suggestion, a small design change that altered the flag's look forever. Washington and the others saw the wisdom in her suggestion. Betsy's quick thinking and clever hands had earned her the commission to sew the prototype. After the men left, the real work began. And it was dangerous work. Philadelphia was crawling with British soldiers and loyalist spies. Sewing a flag for the rebel army was an act of treason. If she were caught, arrested, imprisoned, or worse. So she worked in secret, hiding her materials and her progress from curious eyes. She cut 13 stripes, 7 red and 6 white, 7 red and 6 white. The most challenging part was the canton, the blue field in the corner. She arranged 13 five-pointed stars in a circle, no beginning and no end, equal states, side by side. Every stitch was a risk, but each stitch also helped bind a fragile union together. Finally, after many secret hours, it was finished, a banner for a new world. While historians debate the exact details, the story of Betsy Ross has become a cherished piece of American folklore. A humble artisan's quiet courage helped shape a powerful symbol, one that still inspires us today. If you enjoyed this journey into a secret history, please consider subscribing to NeuroNexus Earth.